The Golden Globes. Cheers, everybody. Today I'm drinking out of my Hellfire Club mug. And yes, you heard that right. Today we're talking about the Golden Globes, the award show that everybody loves to hate for good reason. At this point, does the award show even matter? Does the Golden Globes matter? I'm very, very indifferent. And to be honest, I would lean more with the side that said no, but at the same time, there's not only movies involved here, it's also television, and I feel like this is a great place to award and represent and show appreciation to some of the best television shows of the year. But they're just a mess, man. They just can't seem to get their stuff together. They've been boycotted, kicked off air, changed broadcast television channels, but they're still going strong. That's commendable, I think. So I kind of just wanted to go through a recap of everything that happened, just give my opinions on the award show as a whole. For the most part, there was a lot of solid things that happened this year. I mean, the wins overall were pretty good. I predicted most of them. There were a few surprises, but nothing that really stood out that was super shocking. Well, maybe one thing or two things. Okay, there were a couple things that pissed me off, and we'll get into that too. But first, I want to address the thing that absolutely nobody is thinking. Nobody on planet Earth, nobody has said anything about this at all yet, but I want to be the first one to say it. Joe Koy has got to be one of the worst hosts I've ever witnessed in my entire life. He came out guns a-blazing and everybody hated him instantly because he's simply not funny. And he was just trying to force all these jokes that just didn't work, and it made everybody uncomfortable or angry and upset, and it's like he would never shut up. And then when he said a joke that just obviously didn't land with anybody, he would say like, come on guys, it's funny, laugh. Joe, I don't think you understand comedy, my friend. You're telling me that this guy's a stand-up comedian. Joe Koy, no. Sit down. You don't need to stand up. You need to sit down. Sit down for good. Sit down. Stay there. It's a common thing for the hosts of these award shows to sort of just crap on all of the movies that are nominated and the different actors and actresses and performers and whatever category they may be nominated in, and just talk a bunch of trash, like form a lot of shallow, cringy jokes around the movies themselves, and it just almost never works in their favor. Like the very popular thing this year is to talk about how long Oppenheimer is. How it's such a long movie. People obviously don't remember the fact that Killers of the Flower Moon was 30 minutes longer than Oppenheimer. But Joe Koy, in his opening monologue, went on about how long Oppenheimer was, only to follow it by saying, I love the movie. It was great. My only complaint is that it should have been longer. What? You just ruined your own punchline. You totally destroyed your own joke. He did throw in a good joke, however, about Barry Keoghan and Saltburn and the size of Bradley Cooper's nose in Maestro. I don't want to quote the joke because I like to keep this channel family friendly, but it was pretty funny. I can't lie. That one landed for me. The production was also all over the place for this year's show, and the presentation just did not seem very well put together. I mean, there were categories that had pictures or categories that would just show the actor's face that was nominated for the category, but then others would have clips. The show was 3 hours long, and we went a majority of it without seeing any clips of the movies or the actors that were nominated for these categories. You think we can survive off of 3 hours of Joe Koy jokes? Well, luckily we didn't have to, because not only was he terrible, also there were so many different celebrity presentations of the awards where they would walk on stage and do their own little bit, and it almost never landed. However, I will say there was a moment where Ray Romano and Kerry Russell got on stage to present an award, and there was a bit back and forth there that had me absolutely dying laughing. Ray Romano, with his dry humor and just the entire bit, I felt was well written. It didn't feel like it was written by a committee. Like, I feel like he had some sort of creative input into that one, and it showed because people responded to it because it was funny. Honestly, you could have had him host the entire thing and it would have been so much better off. But I mean, actors couldn't even find their way to the stage, and when they got up to accept the award, it's like they had no time to give their speeches, while Joe Koy and all these celebrity presenters had all of the time in the world, unlimited time. They never got shut off. Like, how are you going to give more time to the presenters than the actors themselves who are accepting these awards? It's an award show for them. When it comes to the winners, it felt pretty predictable, pretty safe. There wasn't anything out of the ordinary from what I expected. I actually feel like for the most part, the voting committee made a lot of good choices, and the way it all shaped up feels like that's the direction it's going to go for the Oscars as well. Oppenheimer swept, Christopher Nolan got Best Director, Ludwig Göransson won Best Score, Cillian Murphy got Best Actor, and Robert Downey Jr. got Best Supporting Actor, which leads me to the first thing I was a little disappointed in, but not surprised by. I just have a really big soft spot for Charles Melton in May December. I do feel like he is the sleeper in the Best Supporting Actor category. Robert Downey Jr. was great, but the more I've sat with his performance and the more that the rest of these films have come out, and just over time, he feels like the safest option. Now, when Robert Downey Jr. got up on stage, his speech was pretty good. But even he said it's kind of funny that he's getting so much recognition for playing a character that was so boring and mundane. Whereas Charles Melton was kind of the glue that held the entire film together in May December. He was the emotional core of the movie, and he was just a breakout performer. I know there aren't many ballots that have him at the top, but I wish he would get more love. Paul Giamatti won for Best Actor in a Musical or Comedy, which I'm very happy. That was a given, really, for that category. The Holdovers, one of my favorite movies of the year, and I really think at this point in the Oscar race, the Best Actor category, it's pretty much a lock for Cillian, but I feel like if it's between anybody, it's between him and Paul Giamatti. Bradley Cooper is just not seeming to work well with critics this year, as much as he tried so very hard. He tried and he cried. Divine Joy Randolph won Best Supporting Actress, which I'm very happy with that. I definitely think she's the best among the nominees, and I think it's a shoo-in that she wins the Oscar as well. Lily Gladstone won for Best Actress, and she gave a very powerful speech. Speech that seemed hard to come by last night. The speeches were okay, but it felt like there was way more than normal of those that just read something off of a piece of paper and listed names. Her speech just felt very from the heart and very genuine. Emma Stone also won Best Actress in a Musical or Comedy for Poor Things, which I think was very well deserved. And really, the Oscar race at this point comes down between her and Lily Gladstone. That's the biggest toss-up for me right now. That's the one that I can see the Academy going either direction. I think I'm leaning more in favor of Emma Stone right now, just because the entire film was on her shoulders and she has to do so many outlandish and wild things, and she pulls it off completely. I think it's by far her best performance. Now, the first big surprise of the night was the screenplay category, which nobody expected, but I'm very happy that Anatomy of a Fall won. That was just a wild card pick. I seriously don't think anybody predicted that movie to win. That was definitely the first big shocker, but a pleasing one at that. I do, however, think it's weird that with as much as the Golden Globes is trying to be the next best thing after the Oscars, that they don't do the same thing that the Oscars do by splitting up the screenplay category into adapted and original. That would have led the way for something like Barbie or Oppenheimer to also take home an award in that category. The one major upset of the night came with the Best Animated Feature category, to which The Boy and the Heron somehow won, when Across the Spider-Verse was right there. Leave it to Golden Globes to screw something up, which I know a lot of people love The Boy and the Heron. I'm not saying that's a bad movie by any means. I'm not saying it wasn't deserving of it, but there was a clear better option. The only thing I can think of is The Boy and the Heron is supposed to be Hayao Miyazaki's last film, so I guess they were just giving him his flowers. Again, do the Golden Globes even matter? Does it really matter? We also got to witness the inaugural award for Cinematic and Box Office Achievement. What? Barbie won. Duh. You nominate the 5 highest grossing movies, or however many movies were nominated for that category, and you're supposed to give one winner a trophy. Well, I wonder who it's going to be. It couldn't be the highest grossing movie of the year, Barbie. It couldn't be that one. Who knows? Maybe Super Mario Bros. Would win. No. Why? Because they didn't make as much money. Yeah. It was like a participation trophy, like a pat on the back, like a bless your heart. You did well. It was just so silly. It's like the voters said, well, we're not giving enough to Barbie here, and people love Barbie, so why don't we just introduce this new category to where Barbie gets an easy win? Everybody wins. the Golden Globes just look stupid in the process. It's stuff like that that makes me wonder if we even need to televise this broadcast, if this is even something that people are still interested in, if we should really still put this on live TV or not just like drop a link on social media of the winners, and then the winners can separately post their own thank you speeches and videos or pictures on social media whenever they choose. It's really just an excuse to tune in and watch a bunch of celebrities you like and the thing that you watched. Get crazy, say something silly. Let's talk about something else that was crazy and silly. Succession just mopped the floor in every single category. They just walked away. It was like a clean sweep almost. This show must be so good because people just haven't shut up about it. And I haven't watched it yet. And to be honest, I feel kind of left out. Maybe I should get onto that hype train now because it seems to be on the treks to Funtown. The hype train on the journey to Funtown. I like Kieran Culkin. I like Jeremy Strong. That theme song hits hard. Yeah, I guess I need to give the show a try. Speaking of television shows, 2 of the biggest moments for me of the entire year. No, 3 of the biggest moments of the entire night for me. The Bear won Best Musical or Comedy Series, which I'm so excited about. If you didn't watch my last video, then you wouldn't know that The Bear is a show that I watched recently, and in a lot of ways, it changed my life. It gave me the motivation and inspiration to get back into YouTube and just chase after a bunch of stuff that I've been putting off for so long. And it's just so layered and it's so thematically rich, and every single character feels very human and real and fully developed, and it might honestly be my favorite show of all time. That being said, I still find it extremely weird that you would put a show like that in a musical or comedy category. I mean, I get that there's jokes. I don't watch The Bear to feel good. In fact, it messes me up. Nonetheless, that was the category that they were nominated in, and they won that category. They were also up against Ted Lasso, which I'm a big fan of Ted Lasso too, but The Bear kind of stole my heart. To go along with that, both Jeremy Allen White and Ayo Edebiri both won in their respective categories as well. They gave 2 of the most sincere speeches of the night, very genuine, very heartfelt. And I just think it was so very well deserved. I'm rooting for Jeremy Allen White in all of his endeavors, and Ayo Edebiri quietly stole 2023. I mean, she was in Across the Spider-Verse, she was in The Bear, she was in Bottoms, she was in Theater Camp, she was in some of the greatest comedies of the year, as well as the best animated movie of the year and the best television show of the year. She was just an unstoppable force. So I'm glad to see her get the love that she deserves. Billie Eilish also won the Best Original Song. What Was I Made For? Barbie. The right choice, the best choice, the perfect choice. That is wifey. That is mother. That is so... Man. So happy for Billie. I love Billie. Billie's my favorite. Billie's the best. She better win the Oscar too. She better win the Oscar. The Golden Globes also decided to introduce a new category recognizing what they considered the best stand-up comedy specials of the year. The nominees were atrocious. Ricky Gervais, Wanda Sykes, Chris Rock, Amy Schumer. I bet they genuinely thought Joe Koy was hilarious, didn't they? That's why they picked him, because they obviously don't know comedy. The biggest disgrace of it all was that John Mulaney's special, Baby J, was right there, and they didn't even nominate it. Was it too personal? Was it not political enough? Was it not saying anything that was gonna cause a riot on the internet? The guy stood there for an hour and a half making jokes about his addiction, and it was genuinely one of the most hilarious things I've seen in quite some time. And you didn't even nominate him. Not only should he have been nominated, he probably should have won the dang thing. Amy Schumer. I'll never forgive him for that. Honestly, I was a little mad. I just really want to know what this voting body consists of. What is the age demographic? What are they looking for with their selections? Do they have a hidden agenda? Is there something that they're going for that every single nominee has to represent to some extent? Because there are so many options that they could have gone with, and instead they picked the safest, dullest, most overdone. If we're celebrating a specific achievement in these genres, why are we not acknowledging those that step outside of the boundaries or provide something different or give a new and fresh spin on things? It's the first year that this category was introduced, and I'm already tired of it. And in fact, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted with the category. I'm exhausted with the Golden Globes. I'm exhausted with all of it. I've just had it. I'm spent. Why am I getting so worked up about this? I opened the video with saying, do the Golden Globes even matter? No, they don't. I know that. But I sat there and I watched it for 3 hours. I wanted something good to happen. And good stuff did happen, but it came with a lot of bad. At what cost? So what does this mean for the Oscars? Is there any implications here? Does any of the results of this award show have any sort of play into what's going to happen at the Academy Awards? Maybe. Really, it's a toss-up. Like I said, for the most part, the selection seems safe. They seem like the best bet. It seemed like nothing out of the ordinary. Like, I can easily see it translating to victories at the Oscars. Like I said, the Best Actress category is kind of a toss-up between two nominees right now in Lily Gladstone and Emma Stone. And as much as I want Charles Melton to win Supporting Actor, it's going to be RDJ. Yeah, I feel like the bets are pretty safe. I feel like that was a pretty good outlook of what it's gonna be come Oscar season. And you know what? I'm not mad. For as bad of a year it felt like 2023 was, there was also a lot of gems in the mix. And really, all of the nominees, all of the films in the different categories, I'm a fan of. And there's not really anything I can see myself being too upset with. But I guess we're just gonna have to see how it plays out. So make sure to comment down below. Let me know your thoughts of the Golden Globes. Vote to never let Joe Koy host anything ever again, and make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, I'll see y'all later. Peace out.